Hey Josh, Mike Vorknoff with The Athletic. You guys have spent so much time playing together, 2 years together, and then obviously you and Mikhail and Jalen have, almost a decade now. How does that present itself on the court, that kind of chemistry, especially, you've had so much success in the late shot clock situations too, just creating something out of nothing. Like, how does that continuity make itself known on the court together?
I don't know. I think you just get a familiarity, and there's a certain comfort level. With those guys, all of them can go out there and make plays. Especially in the shot clock. In the shot clock. JB, I trust Kel in the shot clock, any game, in the game situations. Same thing with OG Cat. So, I think it's just more so just a trust that's built, and you're able to know where everyone likes the ball and plays it for them to execute.
Fifth row on the left.
Howie Kasoy, New York Post. Josh, I know last night obviously you guys were not happy defensively with what you did. Castle and Harper especially have been getting to the rim pretty easily, but shot for both of them has been a little bit inconsistent outside. I mean, you've experienced some teams daring you to shoot from outside throughout this playoffs. Like, is there a point where the same goes for these two guys, young guys, shot hasn't always been there, that you got to prove that they can make it from outside?
I'm sure we're going to, change some things and switch up some schemes, to protect the paint, because obviously, like you said, those guys are very dynamic. When they touch the paint, obviously Wemby, when he rolls, he brings in a crowd. So, we just got to do a better job of controlling the ball, first and foremost. And making the ball find those guys. So, they're a good team. They're a physical team, athletic team, but we have to have a little bit of a better attention to detail in terms of being in those shifts and not letting the ball touch the paint.
Standing on the right, Tim.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. Josh, what do you think you guys did well on the offensive end in the second quarter, and what do you think you either got away from or they took away from you in the second half and especially the fourth quarter?
I think we played a little bit slower than we did, in that second quarter. We got stops, we ran. Obviously they shot a lot of free throws, so it was tough to, run. And that kind of sometimes causes you to slow down. It slows the game down. So, we got to be better at that and, playing to our strengths.
Third row on the left, Rachel.
Hey, Josh, Rachel Nichols. It's been 46 days, I think, since you had lost a basketball game. Was there a point, either in the locker room or going home or just sitting once you got, like, in your car or your bed, being like, damn, like, it felt noticeably different in a way that it wouldn't have if you had lost last time a week ago?
Nah, I mean, every loss kind of hurts the same. That's a good team. We knew they weren't just going to lay down and let us win 4 straight. We knew this was going to be a battle. So they played very well, and we got to give them credit for that. We didn't play, to the best of our capabilities. And I think that's just the frustrating part, because we knew we didn't play our best basketball. So, we learned from film today, and, we'll be better tomorrow.
Third row on the right.
Josh Mellon, Karl-Anthony, BasketUSA.com. As you're talking about film, can you take us to the process in between games? Obviously, you do team film. Do you also watch film, on your own? Do you have a personal coach that helps you with that? And secondly, how much information do you need, and what's the balance between having that information but also playing off instinct?
You want as much information as you can. You watch film as a team. You watch film as individuals, whether that's by yourself or with your play development coach. You get shots up. You do your best to recover, let your body rest. But you want to watch kind of as much film as you can, or get as much information as you can, to then go out there, and play to that. Obviously, you want to play with your instincts as a basketball player that you've been playing the game for such a long time. But certain situations you want to have that information. So certain plays you can try to deter them from getting to their spots and stuff like that.
Fourth row in the middle.
Hi, Josh Allo, from J Sport. You're one of the biggest leaders, or the very leaders on the team. What was the message after yesterday's game in the locker room?
0-0. You know, no matter if we won or lost yesterday, today we would have came in, did film, got better, learned from what we could do, do this damn circus of a media, and then get shots up and then go to sleep. So for us, nothing changes. I think we're all frustrated with how we played. Specifically me as a leader in terms of energy, physicality, those kind of things. I didn't do that to the best of my ability, and you learn from it. So whether we won yesterday or lost yesterday, it would have been the same mentality.
Second row here on the left.
Hi, Josh. Simone Wu from asportsconnect.com. I think this would be the best question for you because you're a FIFA World Cup ambassador. Because I'm not sure if you're aware of Game 6 is clashing with a match with World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware of that?
Yeah, France-Senegal.
Yes, exactly. So I think a lot of New York citizens or like tourists are thinking like, how should they like compromise the situation? So I think very similar to the last question, like what would be your mindset like not taking this series back here at for Game 6 so that like the city would not be disrupted,
Yeah, I mean, ideally, we don't go past 5 games. Like that, our thought process, we want to win every single game, not because of, we don't want to clash with France and Senegal, playing in the World Cup. We want to win the next game. And that mentality doesn't change no matter who we play, no matter what goes on around us, no matter what goes on in the city. As competitors, you want to win the next game. And, I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. They want to win the next game. So that's why it's a series. There's going to be a battle. But you can't think of all that outside stuff.
Hey, OG, Mike Borkenoff with The Athletic. You've had so much success in those situations where you're kind of caught in the corner with so little room to move and just jab stepping your way to open shots, and especially even late in the shot clock, right? What is your thought process in those moments where you don't have much space, you don't have much time, and yet you've hit so many of them regardless of that?
Just having poise, having poise, being decisive of whatever I do, whether it's shoot or drive or jab or whatever. Being decisive and then just shooting with confidence. I'm shooting it, or if I'm driving, go to the rim if the rim's open, or then making the next play if there's help there.
Second row on the right, John.
Yeah, OG, John Honser from The Athletic. During this run you guys have had, you especially, your offensive game has seemed to go up another level. I'm just wondering what might be the factors behind that.
I think just, I've always worked on my game, maybe a little bit more usage, I don't know. But just being prepared, being ready to shoot, being assertive. Being assertive when I get the ball, whether it's shoot, drive, or pass.
Do you think you're still slept on a little bit as an offensive player?
I think so, yeah. I do.
Second row in the middle.
Hey, OG, Leandro Saha, Prime Video Brazil. Coach talked about the turnovers yesterday, and we know there were a lot of distractions around this game. Do you think that played a factor in maybe you guys have something to clean up?
I don't know about the other stuff, but we were making turnovers that was uncharacteristic of us. Just being sloppy with the ball, not being on the same page. Throughout the course of a game, stuff like that happens. So we're going to try to clean it up. We already watched film. We're going to keep watching film and try to fix those mistakes from happening again.
Fourth row.
Hey, OG. The first 3 games has been very close and very physical. How do you set the tone for Game 4?
Just coming out from the start, aggressive, playing the way we play, our style, being physical, getting stops, running out in transition, moving the ball, taking good shots. So just starting the game, 48 minutes.
Any other questions for OG? Let's go right here in the second row.
Hi, OG. Simone Wu from asportsconnect.com. So throughout 3 games, I think like on Wemby especially, like you dunk a lot, and then instead of course, like you shot over him as well. So throughout 3 games, like in a series like this, what do you make of that matchup, like offensively and defensively?
Just trying to be aggressive and assertive, no matter who's guarding me. Just reading the situation and letting that tell me what I'm going to do, whether it's pass, shoot, drive and try to finish.
Hey, Carl. Mike Vorknoff with The Athletic.
Yeah.
Through the series so far, you haven't scored a point yet in the fourth quarter and taken just 6 shots. Is there something that's been different about the fourth, whether it's later in the game and there's less energy, or how they're playing you than the rest of the series in which you've been so good so far?
I think it's a combination. We have a game plan and we want to execute it. So just trying to execute our game plan, especially when we get in the fourth, is vital, and just doing what I can to execute it at the highest level.
Back left, Christian.
Carl, Christian Winfield, New York Daily News. It feels like whenever you guys fall into ruts this season, it stems from lack of ball movement, lack of player movement. Just one, why do you think that is? And two, how do you guys get back into the flow of the ball movement and player movement that's gotten you guys on the winning track?
Yeah, I mean, we got to pick up the ball movement for sure. We have to. And two, just we have, 13 games in a row, 50 days of film to show what it looks like when we're at our best. So we got good film. We'll get back to our fundamentals. What makes us great, what made us great, and get back to work tomorrow.
Fourth row on the left, Jared.
Jared Schwartz, New York Post. Kat, you guys have talked so much this year about slow starts to games.
Yeah.
That's 3 games in the finals that you've fallen to early deficits. That was something you fixed in the regular season. Is there something that you guys learned from then that you can apply to now to sort of correct that problem?
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. We'll have to figure it out because, like you said, in every game we played here in the finals, we put ourselves in a position where we have to start fighting immediately. And every time, we find a way to get back into the game, but we can't trust that result's going to happen every single time. So, the Spurs have done a great job starting in the game, dictating the pace and dictating how the game's going. We have to try to be the first ones to throw the first punch.
Third row in the middle, Dan.
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. Carl, the cross match is nothing new to you. You've seen a lot of sort of wing defenders, smaller defenders, but they're throwing a lot of different ones at you. Like, you get Castle for some, Vassell for some, Fox. Like, does the variety or the versatility of that do anything differently for how you approach your game?
Just whatever the defense presents itself to me, I just want to, solve that puzzle. So, like you said, in my whole career, I've seen a bunch of cross-matching, and, utilizing that experience now is most important, more than ever.
Carl, Eduardo Villalpando, how does it feel to be representing the Dominican community here in the finals? You've been getting a lot of support from the DR, and also I wanted to ask you if you know a little bit about David Jones-Garcia. He's also Dominican in the Spurs roster.
Yeah, no, I do. I actually got to say hi to him after last game, so... it means a lot to have my mother's country behind me and to have them really not only supporting me, but supporting him as well in this journey. This is a monumental moment for the Dominican Republic. Shout out to Al, being in my knowledge of right now, being the first one to bring the trophy back to DR. So to have another moment where DR is represented in the NBA Finals is a true honor, and to be able to and have my flag proudly represented it means everything.
Standing here on the left, Zach.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Kat, you said last night you guys didn't do what you had been doing the last 13 games, that you tried to do something different and it didn't work. What exactly do you think you guys tried to do different than you had been doing in that streak?
We've played defense at a high level. I thought that we made things that were the details of the game, the details that made us special. We were too relaxed in them, and we didn't execute them at the level that you guys are used to seeing. So doing that, and also just the fundamentals of what our team is and how we play. We didn't do that for 48 minutes, and it's something that has got us this 13-game winning streak, and playing around with the game against a great team, you're asking for disaster, and that's what we got.
Second row standing on the right, Rachel.
Hey, Carl.
Hey.
Rachel Nichols. Jalen was just in there, and he was saying that when you got traded here, he didn't really know what to expect. He didn't know you that well.
Yeah.
And he says now you're one of his great friends.
Mhm.
And I was just curious, what were sort of the beginnings of that friendship?
Yeah.
And how would you describe your relationship now?
Did he say that with Josh around or no?
He did not.
Ooh, Josh is gonna be jealous, and I think our friendship is built off respect. We've had so much respect for each other as opponents, and now to be teammates. Spending true time with each other as teammates. And I've always said we spend more time with each other than our families, our kids. So. To see who we truly are on a day-to-day basis and how we truly, treat people and the things that the media says, is it true, is it not? And you're getting to see firsthand what the truth really is. I'm glad I've been able to not only earn his respect even more as a basketball player, but as a man, and for him to appreciate the advice I give him in a daily, in daily life and things I see. It means a lot.
Back right, standing.
This is Carolina with the Las Vegas Sports Network and Spurfect. Carl, there's been some viral videos online with Spurs and Knicks fans getting into altercations in the streets. What is your message to NBA fans on being passionate about the NBA game, but also keeping respect for one another?
I mean, the game is built off respect and passion. We want everyone to respect each other. We want everyone to enjoy basketball at its purest state. I mean, it's the NBA Finals. There's no better place to watch basketball. So, leave the physicality to everyone on the court.
Hey, first row on the right.
Ramón Esteves, Deportes en Línea. Each of the three games has been decided practically by one position. How do you evaluate them?
We just, at the end of the day, you got to find a way to win that one possession. You got to win that game. And yesterday we didn't do enough to make it more difficult for them to not win that possession. They're a great team. They've, like I said before, earned the right to be here. But they got a ton of respect from us, and we have to make it more difficult on them.
Right here in the back.
Hey, Leandro Carranza from NBA Latin America. Talking about matchups, yesterday was the first time Wemby wasn't your primary defender. So I'm curious, do you think that changed the way the Spurs established their defense yesterday?
I don't know. I've watched this film, and you kind of see the game in a different lens when you're playing so much. I just seen us not executing the little details that's made us special. I saw their team be great, and we didn't meet, them where the game they brought to MSG yesterday, we didn't meet their level, and and there's a lot of things that we needed to do better for ourselves to give ourselves a chance to win, and we just didn't do.
Hidel Padilla, Filter 360, Puerto Rico. Following his question, you were very effective when Wemby's playing you because you have the speed to go by him and then you don't have resistance in the basket. Now he's playing off you. So how are you going to change or adjust your game from the outside to make him switch again and take advantage of him playing you and not playing off you?
I mean, that's for us to, as a team, to find out and see what we want to do. Execute our game plan and get back to what's made us special, that ball movement, and getting the ball, zipping around the court and allowing it to judge who shoots the ball. So I think we have to get back to the details and our fundamentals that's made us special in the last 13 game winning streak.